So it's Tasmania, winter's coming, it's already pretty cold, and my pellet heater decided to die last time I had it going. Filled the room with smoke, out the vents, threw sparks out the exhaust, and then the bearing started to clunk, and it was horrible. I got a feeling running on waste oil and lighting it with degreaser probably hasn't done any good, but anyway, I'm going to have to solve the problem before it gets into the single digit times. So straight away I found something really nasty. This catch tray for the dust or the ash is completely, the lock is completely jammed. I don't know what's up with that. Obviously it's been too hot in there. So I've got both covers off now. I've noticed some interesting problems in here. The oil feeders, that's all full of oil, like shale. Like absolutely chockers with it. That's bad. I'm guessing it's leaking down through there and burning. Probably a lot of the reason for the smoke in the room. This side off, I think that's the heat exchanger blower there, which must blow up through here, up through the heat exchanger somehow. I'm going to pull it down, have a really good look at that. But over here's my suspect. This is where the noise was coming from. This appears to be the exhaust fan. You can see some scorching up in here, and this, I think it may have burned out. The motor still spins okay, but I think it's burned some of the bushes. Alright, that's going to come out pretty easy, so that's going to be my first place to look. I might not have to do much to this. So I've pulled apart all the plates from the combustion chamber. This one's the screen that sort of protects the heat exchanger. It's absolutely full. I don't know where that's meant to go, but that's bad. That's absolutely chockers with shit. As are the sides, either side, and they're the ports that go back to the blower I pulled out. So there's just so much soot being created, as you can see. It's just terrible. The oil's been running down with the soot on this side where it's been leaking from the feed container. It's not good. The fan itself though, it still spins properly. All of the rubber, silicon suspension still seems to be fine. The blower mechanism still seems to, looks okay. I mean, it's seen better days, but it's not broken. Okay, so I've set the blower up on the bench to see if it's okay. Let's fire it up. It's working. Doesn't sound great. See that wheel, very corroded. It's not as good as new at all. Quite a bit off balance. I'd like to upgrade it and put this monster in there, but that is reserved for my casting furnace if I ever build it. So I'm just going to run with that. I might look and see if I can get new parts, but I can't see any reason why it won't continue to work for a little while longer. I mean, it's noisy, but I don't think it's going to self-destruct. Having a quick look at how the control system works on this pellet heater. We've got an on-off temperature switch. It just tells it when to shut down, and we've got 2 timers along with the knobs on the front panel. No wonder this heater wasn't very efficient and I converted it to oil. I think all the modern ones have a computer system that actually feeds the pellets in intelligently. Oh well. Here's something else extremely dodgy. Here's the adapter plate that goes onto the blower. Now the manufacturer's decided to bend that up with pliers to make it fit onto the larger hole they've got there. as a result of what they've done, they've tried to stick a bit of a gasket on there, which is kind of pointless because it doesn't really even, like, doesn't, see that? It just doesn't seal properly. It's rocking. It's just ridiculous. Looking even more closely at this, it was supposed to be attached to this fan with aluminium rivets. Well, it was attached with aluminium rivets. They've corroded or burned off in the process of being on there. This is really, really shady. Like, I reckon that's what the clunking was. I reckon those rivets have let go and gone clunking around on the inside of the unit. Surely can be made a lot more efficient if it's sealed up properly. So I've installed some steel rivets rather than aluminium ones. Hopefully they'll last a while. Got my doubts about the blower fan lasting a hell of a lot longer, but we'll see how it goes. Success! Fan's in, fan is spinning. Vibrating less than it ever has done before thanks to extra rivets and jamming it up a bit with some cable ties. Don't know how long it'll last, but it's actually quieter than when I got it, so I'm going to run with that. Right, so I've got the heater a lot of the way back together, but I've got to ask myself, is it really worth burning oil if I have to clean the heater out and get soot everywhere? Right, so I've finally got this all back together. There's a few changes, improvements I thought I should cover. First one is, one of the problems I was having is I was burning way too much fuel at times without realising, and that was causing incomplete combustion, and it was causing the heater to fill up with all that carbon. I had to vacuum it out. Seen a few solutions to at least keeping an eye on the oil flow, where they used a like a T-piece with a hole, or you could look through the hole. I wanted to be a bit more ghetto than that, so I just got my other paint spray gun, which was already ruined, stuffed the old pot inside a new one, so then I should just be able to see the oil drip into there, then down the feed into here. Now I was going to change this feed around a bit and try and make a better pot, but I still want to maintain my pellet compatibility, so I'm just going to leave it like that. I mean, ideally air should blow down this tube, but hasn't been a problem before, so why muck with it really. For the catch, the dust catch tray, or the oil catch tray as it is now, I had to steal a lock out of one of my arcade games because that one that was in it was completely seized from too many fires being lit in there. I think the big takeaway from all of this is be careful with how much oil is being put in, and also don't just spray degreaser in it till flames go everywhere. Even though it's really fun, it tends to ruin the heater a bit. The last change I'm going to make is replacing this horrible kinked chimney inner. The outer's just as bad as that, with this piece of 3-inch just plain exhaust pipe that I have. And it'll also mean I can slide it in and out from the wall a bit better. I don't think they really get that hot. It's already lined with aluminium in the hole. I mean, I might cut a ring off the old exhaust section, is put in the back of the heater. But yeah, I'll get it all back into place and see how it goes. I imagine it will be significantly better as it's not full of carbon and the blower's actually attached rather than broken off and rattling around. Right, I guess it's time to try it out. I've got some diesel and a propane torch because that looks like it's the better way to light these. Bit of diesel. Actually, a bit ahead of myself actually. Should probably put some oil in it. Right, got some oil. Let's see if we can get a bit of flow happening. So that's good, I can actually see the oil flow. Something that I didn't have before, and I always ended up putting way too much in there. Right, let's try and light it. Well, doesn't work very well. I think it's back to the degreaser again, because that's shit house. There we go. So there we go, burning really well. Nice mild fire going in there. I've only got, barely even got it dripping. I'll probably give it a little bit more than that, but actually being able to control it is excellent. Mission complete. Now I just have to clean up the shed and myself.